Great evening, mga ka-Entrebs! It's another day to be inspired and to learn how to be your own boss. Dito sa EntrepAcademy, we are here to give you insights, ideas, techniques, and skills na kakailanganin ninyo para magsimula ng inyong business.
Indeed. And this is your digital world course where we'll be teaching you how to be even more digitally relevant with new tips and trends online, especially in the fast-growing and competitive landscape of the online world operating in this new normal.
I am Pau Castillo.
I am Steven Chase Lemen.
And we have here, of course, Carren Deguilla, who is currently having slight technical difficulties. So we will be catching you, Karen, in just a bit. So hopefully your connection improves in a while. Buti na lang, medyo photogenic pa din ang pagkaka-freeze ni Karen. O, diba? Tawag dito? Na nakisama naman, kumbaga, ang ating internet connection tonight to give her a flashing
Glowing
freeze
sight.
screen. O, diba?
Beautiful.
So, again, we are your EntreProfessors in the digital world. So, we're here to help you kickstart your business in the digital field. At ngayong gabi, ituturo naman namin sa inyo ang mga how-tos in starting a business, right? And of course, syempre, thriving in the digital marketing industry. So, Chase, kamusta ka naman? How's your current Friday night?
My Friday night's been busy. A lot of adjustments in my workplace, but nothing I can't handle. Especially with the new technology that's flowing in and out dito sa training namin. Oof. It's a lot of stuff to catch up on, but we do learn a lot more, and it's really promising sa mga businesses around us. Dito pa nga sa Philippines, what's being implemented to work. So it's a lot of fun. Naman, Pao, how is it over there in the digital marketing world?
Ayun, okay naman din. Medyo, alam mo na, still a lot of clients coming in, and of course, marami-rami din ang mga kailangan nating i-cater to na mga request. And let's welcome back, of course, si Karen. Karen, hello! Good
Welcome
evening! Great day! Great day!
Yes, great day. Medyo struggling ang ating connection today. Kanina okay pa eh. Yes. Yan talaga yung panlaban natin ngayon.
Oo, totoo. Very, very new normal talaga ang sitwasyon na ito. But it's okay. We're just gonna power through and just move forward nga naman.
Yes.
So, Karen, why don't you do your introduction then for us? Kasi medyo nakapost ka naman in a very photogenic way kanina.
You left us in a blooming picture.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So, kailangan pala lagi tayo naka-angle, no? Just in case. Yes. Angle lang magsalita. Char.
Angle talaga. So, ayan. Again, I am Carren Deguilla, one of your professors for digital world. Ayan. So, All right.
So, and then we were doing then a brief kamustahan, just before you also entered. And ayun, si Chase was asking kamusta nga daw ang mga ganap-ganap in the digital marketing field. So I did mention na, clients are still very much eager, to put themselves out there kasi ngayong new normal nga naman, 'di ba? Competition is really tough. And also Chase was discussing a few trainings that they had in their company, which of course, guys, sa mga those tuning in right now, you'll hear much more about that later. What about you, Karen? Kamusta naman ang mundo ng e-commerce on your end?
Electronic commerce.
Ay, nako, ang mundo ng e-commerce laging palaban. Because ganyan talaga sa e-commerce, madami kang kalaban. Because you're selling something na, di ba? Di ba? You're selling something na baka ang iba dyan, binibenta din yan. So, kailangan, laban lang ng laban. So, kaya ganun din, madami kang pinag-aaralan. So, that's why, kumbaga, e-commerce, ginagamit niya pareho yung ginagawa niyo eh. So, we use digital marketing because we use social media, we use other platforms, we especially use SEO kasi doon nakatira yung e-commerce sa mga websites. And also, we use SaaS. We also use applications na dinedevelop para syempre, makakuha tayo ng scalable or sinasabi na magandang flow of operations since kailangan, di ba, mabilis kasi ang internet. Mabilis din dapat ang serbisyo. mo.
Indeed.
Yan.
Totally agree with that, no, Karen? And nagsisimula pa lang tayo pero medyo pasundot-sundot na rin ang ating mga technical terms and a few insights that we already shared sa ating mga respective fields. So in line with that, no, sa ating mga viewers right now, actually meron tayong onting pasabog for tonight. We will be flashing your Entrep assignment throughout the show, so be sure to catch that and share with us your answer in the comments below. So ano nga ba itong ating Entrep assignment for tonight? So this is the first time na ipa-flash namin to on the screen, but don't worry, if you miss out on this one, definitely throughout the show, we will continue putting these questions forward. So, ang tanong natin for the day ay, how will freelancing benefit your lifestyle? So to qualify for the game, you must like and follow Entrep Radio page and the FBA page. The FBA page is actually yung page ng ating special guest for tonight. We will be sharing that with you guys later on. So bago namin i-share yung details dyan, maybe you can think about the answers already to the question. So share the stream and we will be flashing your Entrep assignment throughout the show. So be sure to catch that and share with us your answers. We will only consider comments with the sharer badge as a candidate to be a winner. So ano nga ba pag sinabing may sharer badge? Dapat pag shinare nyo ang aming stream, it should be put on public mode para makikita din namin if you really indeed shared the stream. Now guys, I'm not sure pero basta I've heard yung ating prize for this. Talaga namang isang malaking papremyo from our special guest tonight. So definitely tune in for that and isip-isip na rin tayo sa magandang sagot sa tanong na, how will freelancing benefit your lifestyle? So we will be announcing the winner on our Entrep Radio page. Diba? Kung pwede lang tayo, pwede rin ba? Wait lang.
Diba?
Sumagot on the side. But we will be announcing the winner on our Entrep Radio page on Friday and we will be coordinating with our guest professor to see if the winner really did follow, yung ating mechanics. Kasi siya rin na magbibigay ng prize na talagang very, very big time. Na kami nga ni na Chase and Karen right now, medyo gusto na rin namin sumagot on the side. O, diba?
Nakasagot na eh. Well, anyway.
So kayo guys, kung kayo sasagot nung tanong, how can freelancing benefit your lifestyle?
Alright. Well, let me start it off. Sa side ko naman is being a developer in the robotics process automation world. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that need certain repetitive processes that automated. Because I'm sure marami kayong ina-encode dyan, especially for those starting off early in the businesses, especially kung booming yung business nyo, pero hirap na hirap kayo sa pag-encode ng data. It's, if I were to offer my services as a freelancer and I could automate their processes, mapapadali buhay nila and all they would need is one robot to maintain. Ganun. As compared to, say, hiring a couple of people to maintain a database to gather all that data for future references and business decisions. Lots of words there, pero yan, makakatulong yun, I'm sure.
Yes.
Interesting
Mamaya
insight.
iintindihan na ating mga ang ating mga guests, yung mga terms ni Chase, di ba? Pero basically, kung ikaw ay e-commerce, meron kang store online, gagamit ka ng iba-ibang application. Gagamit ka for inbound marketing, kung paano mo i-reach out yung mga clients mo. Gagamit ka ng mga applications para sa inyong expenses. Parang mga spreadsheet applications, di ba? Lahat ng yan, kailangan naka-consolidate sa isang may titingin lang. At kung ipapasa niya sa iyo, malinaw agad yung dating niya. Na hindi ka mahirapan na, teka lang, hihintayin ko muna si ganito, tapusin niya to. Mabilis, kasi mabilis ang e-commerce, di ba? Pero going back, freelancing, ako, for me, freelancing from the word free. Because you're free sa time mo when you're going to the office, you can handle your time. Ikaw yung boss. Kaya self-employed ang mga freelancers. And that's the good thing, especially right now, di ba? Ang mga tao nahirapan nung nagkaroon ng pandemic. Because, well, di sila sanay na nagstay sila sa at home. Nahirapan sila kumita dahil nawalan sila ng trabaho. Pero yung mga nag-freelancer, even before parang wala lang sa kanila. Kasi sanay na sila eh. They're just at home and they're enjoying. Actually nga, sila na yung parang makabagong OFW because they're earning like an OFW without leaving the country, 'di ba? So that's kind of a good thing, 'di ba? When you're talking about freelancing.
That's
How about
true.
you, Pao?
Totally agree
What
dyan, Karen. Ang nakuha ko dun sa shinare mo, no, yung talagang have freelancing, so freedom, kumbaga. Ako, siguro yung pinaka-key takeaway ko is that parang, you know, what kind of like what we do sa CVA family, no? We do so many things, kung saan-saan tayo nag-grow, kung saan-saan yung opportunities na nabibigay sa atin. So, in a similar way na there are so many things that I kind of wanna explore, kind of wanna do, explore ko yung e-commerce, IT side, and all, you know, aspects din of digital marketing. So, it gives us the freedom to actually learn more about our crafts and even beyond it, 'di ba? Na parang kesa nasa stuck ka sa commute or nasa stuck ka sa office and whatnot, at least now you own your time, and at the same time you can grow in many other ways, 'di ba? So that's, you know, I guess how it'll benefit my lifestyle. And ayun, sa mga nakikinig po right now, 'di ba? Paano ito magbe-benefit sa mga lifestyle nyo? So let us know about it and share lang kayo dyan through your comments.
And if I may
meron nga nag-comment modern OFW. O, di ba? Yes, Chase?
And so, if I may add, with the whole freelancing deal, and our online world today, I'm sure yung mga kliyente lang natin, he's not only restricted here in the Philippines, but we will get to have like international clients too if you're a freelancer. So if you're really industrious and looking for clients, I'm sure you'll be hitting up some really foreign rather requests. So it's a nice place to explore.
Ay, parang may double meeting yung foreign mo na request.
It means what it means.
Out of this world ba?
Pero guys, you know, but before we get to any of that, ano-ano nga ba ang pwedeng maituro ng inyong EntreProfessors tonight? I think it's time for us to kick it off with Chase na nag-start na rin mag-share ng kanyang experience earlier, who will be discussing more about the field of IT.
EntrePradio Online.
Okay. So, great day mga ka-Entreps. I'm Steven Chase Lemen, your EntreProfessor for the world of IT. And I'll be talking about my field of work that I've so far found really enjoyable and relevant to the businesses we've worked with so far. So, to start it off, my job it involves robotic process automation, or RPA. So, I'm an RPA developer and I'm also part of quality assurance. So, in RPA, we usually involve automation software where we use to create robots that imitate and automate human interactions with digital software and applications. So an example of this would be navigating a certain web page, or repetitively inputting data into fields for, say, for encoding. So those are the kind of things that we automate, especially if it involves like 5 people doing the same job over and over. When instead of 5 people, you can just replace it with one robot. So that's what RPA is all about. So the benefits of having an RPA solution is it has increased reliability and less manpower required for the menial tasks, which allow for your people to focus more on the more vital ventures or more business decision-oriented tasks. So marami akong nasabi dun. So let's chop it down. So what I mean by reliability here is that since a robot will be handling these menial tasks, it's going to be repetitive and manageable as compared to a human being, which is prone to, well, being people nga naman, we are prone to being tired and making mistakes. It's time consuming especially, and really tedious for us. So it will wear down on us. Whereas compared to a robot, it has none of those disadvantages. It can just keep on going and going and going as long as we keep it powered and pretty much just keep it powered and plugged in. That's all we need from it, and it'll do it a whole lot faster than us manually navigating it. So how we usually start off with robotic process automations or a robot from RPA is we identify a manual process. So one example, what do I mean by a manual process? So it's something like encoding certain set of data. For example, you have an Excel sheet filled with say 50,000 rows of data, and like I don't know, 20 columns. 50,000 rows, 20 columns. That's a lot of data, and you have to encode all of that onto an application here for your business or your company, and they're asking you to do that along with say 10 other people, and to get it done in the next 4 hours or so, the next working day. So that alone, you can imagine the amount of work that you have to do, the tediousness, the repetitiveness, the time-consuming efforts that you all will be showing in finishing that finishing that expedition of a workload. So that's a manual process that we in the RPA side can help with. So yeah, that's encoding raw data from data sources. So through this manual process, we can analyze the process piece by piece. So as we do that, we pass it through something that we call a feasibility study. So this study includes how much of the process we can automate by checking certain factors like pretty much human interaction or decision making at certain parts of the system. So as we're going through the feasibility study, we're actually also streamlining the process in itself, in a sense that we are adjusting it according to the capabilities of the automation software. So the automation software, one of the things that I've recently used is Automation Anywhere. One of the capabilities that it generally has is things called image recognition. So image recognition means it can identify certain areas of your screen where it's looking for a certain, say, face or a certain word, and it can identify that through that software. Also, among those is the automation of mouse clicking, the keyboard shortcuts, creating of files, deletion of files, the logs, all of those, and even sending emails to alert you that the automation has completed its task. So the limitations of an automation, however, is really dependent on the process that you need to automate. So as you proceed with a feasibility study, you identify if the factors of that process may affect how easily automatable it is. So these factors commonly boil down to, say, interactions that require human decision making. So something like getting approvals from customers, or getting custom inputs from customers or users. So those are the kind of limiting factors that we need to take into account when we're proceeding with our feasibility study. So a process with human decision making, there is, can still be automated by setting up and adjusting parts of the process in the new automated process or the to-be process. So what we can do is like set up conditional values that are based on a certain criteria. So according to that criteria, or we can also set default values. So using that system, we can teach the robot to identify which values it would need for a certain input, certain entry, for example. So male, female, that kind of stuff. What advantages or benefits does this entail for having a female or male employee, for example? So those are the kind of things that we can automate as part of the RPA solution. So, however, there have been cases that a process has way too much human decision making that it would be almost impossible to automate and just assign it to a robot. So in that regard, we hand it over to the client. We discuss it over that we either have to recreate the process entirely, or just leave it as is for now and figure out a new overall solution for it. And speaking of processes and businesses, by the way, a lot of old businesses still use the same system processes since they started off. So like maybe businesses that started from 1980s, they have these processes that they've followed from the very start. and it's worked for them so far up until this year. So that's 40-year-old processes. So what we those systems that I just mentioned, that's what we call legacy systems. So legacy systems are really old, dated systems that worked, that still work. Granted, they still work, but they're still handling it in a very outdated manner. So what does that mean? If it's outdated, it proves to be risky, and there might be some flaws in the security layer there. So we need as much as possible when it comes to systems that are vital, especially for um, processes that involve really important systems like payroll, for example. We have to keep our systems as updated as possible. This way, we can retain the reliability of giving out the expected results consistently, as well as keeping it all safe as we are automating the systems. So that's one of the things we're trying to also help with the any existing businesses is upgrading their systems to a newer, better, and safer solution. Solution, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So
That's right.
as we're right as the RPA, RPA also has the capability to still use the legacy systems, although we don't have to completely replace them, because since these are legacy systems, they've always worked. We can't just immediately replace them with new systems and trust that it's gonna 100% completely work. So there's that always that doubt or factor that you have to consider when trying out these new systems. So what RPA can help in this regard is still use the legacy systems while at the same time integrating some of the newer approaches of our current world onto this legacy system and forming like this weird this hybrid solution for that company. It will also act as a foundation for future upgrades and updates for that company if ever they so choose to update their systems. So with everything that I've said so far, automation solutions, we there's a certain development method that we commonly use when it comes to applications. If you're familiar with the waterfall method, which is pretty much just gathering all the requirements in say a week or two, and then forming that up into a development plan for say 3 months or more or longer. It just basically it imitates a waterfall where we follow one step at a time all the way down until we get to the finished product. So that's what a waterfall method is. Now, having an RPA, we follow a different methodology, which allows for more flexible environment. So what we call this methodology is called the agile methodology. So with the agile methodology, this revolves around breaking down the entire project into smaller, more manageable mini projects. And each one of these result into prototypes. As each one of these are handled also in shorter spans of time as compared to say like 4 or 5 months of development. These small mini projects are just concentrated into like 2 to 4 weeks. So in those 2 to 4 weeks, the developers are expected to come up with a prototype that works and that they can present with it to the client. So that's what the agile methodology is pretty much all about. So why do we use this? So yeah, as I mentioned, the methodology allows for a more flexible working environment for the team while also allowing the client to be more engaged with the development process. So at the end of each work cycle or sprint, as the agile methodology follows, um, that's one of there's a retrospectives that happen there where they discuss what they've found out, what works, what doesn't, and a lot of other factors. So going back to the work practices, one of the work practices of the agile methodology, there are three things that they all commonly have, which is the number one, the daily stand-ups or the status meetings, 2 or 4 week sprint or development cycles, and the retrospectives like I mentioned earlier. So let me just go through each one of them real quick. The daily stand-up pretty much is a meeting every day to inform each and every one of us of what we're doing, what we did yesterday, what we're doing today, what we're doing tomorrow, and if there are any other problems that we've faced so far. So This allows for like a constant flow of work being done every day. There's no stagnant moment, or there's always a sense of responsibility for these people to get something done by the end of the day. There is that push. While at the same time, if there are any impediments that block their way to progress, these impediments are quickly addressed and uh, given out to the leads and the client. That way, they can help provide a solution for that, or with the other devs. Basically, everybody working as a team to work on that single problem and proceed with finishing with the sprint. So that's what daily stand-ups are for. The next is the 2 or 4 week sprint cycles or development cycles. So this is what I mentioned earlier. Um, in an agile methodology, we try to keep things short and sweet. In these short 2 week or 4 week sprints, we come up with a prototype that's based off of the something what we call the minimum viable product or the MVP. So the MVP or the minimum viable product is essentially the most important parts of the project that you need to create first, and or rather the most important ones that the client and the developers have deemed most important. So once you create those and it works, and then the client is happy, you can move on to the next segment and then attach the resulting prototype onto the existing prototype. So it's kind of like a building blocks type style of development, wherein you first make one, and then you make two, then you make three, and then you patch them all together, and then it results in the finished product at the end of the entire ordeal. So lastly, the retrospectives, which is usually held after each sprint. This is a good way of identifying practices within the team, where we identify what helped and what did not help for productivity. It's also a good place for idea sharing for the next sprints or reassessments. So, and usually this is where the people kind of just chill and let people know that, oh, what worked for us here. Apparently taking a bathroom break every 30 minutes helps us maintain a certain level of productivity, or giving us, say, beer every 2 days after shift helps. So those kinds of commentary, or something like, tapping my feet while working does not help my coworker because he finds it annoying. So that's one of the more sillier things, but it is also included in the retrospectives, because those little things build up and contribute to the productivity. Right. And more, actually, the agile methodology isn't restricted to those three. Those are just the base three practices that we do. There are more detailed practices that appeal to different team compositions, different team cultures. It's very flexible, very dependent on how the team would like to approach their projects. So that's the kind of methodology that we approach when it comes to creating our automations. All right, so RPA, robotic process automation, is only one of the many technological advancements we have that are driving the digital world today. Another tech that has made its presence known throughout the years, I'll just go through this really quick. Throughout the years is artificial intelligence, or AI. I'm sure a lot of us have heard about this, Terminator films and whatnot. So the artificial intelligence is the digital or computerized version of like an imitation of the human mind. So we integrate AIs with automations so we can allow robots to know how and when to execute specific tasks. And these RPA robots, may also be used as part of a collaboration between humans and machine so that they can create improved solutions. So there's also that in the e-commerce world, there is also the term that Carren mentioned, which is scalability. This also fits into the next item I'm going to run through really quick. It's the cloud. So the cloud and its capacity to provide a scalable environment, the technology as you need it, and the services as you need it, available for all the businesses, new or existing. As long as you have the internet connection, you have access to the cloud. Our digital world is taking steps towards a future where businesses, partners, clients, customers, and the IT world will be working together to build a brighter and better tomorrow. Okay, and that does it for my segment in the IT world. Lots more things in there to talk about for the future, and a whole lot more as it constantly changes day by day. And it is a lot. Next up, we'll be introduced to the world of digital marketing with Pau Castillo. With her, you'll get an idea of what it means to brand-ish your digital presence in a world where being online is simply a must. Stay tuned, mga ka-entreps.
EntrepAcademy online.
Wow, Chase, grabe. That was, the speechless. That was, hindi na natuloy. That was really,
Go ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Ayun, that was quite an extensive overview of what really goes behind.
Pero it's
na
a good
parang-
topic. It's a good
It is,
topic.
it is.
Yung
It's very, actually, that's shallow. We haven't gone to the deeper parts of it, but,
And that's really interesting kasi
Yes.
apparently that's still a high level information that Chase
yes.
actually shared
It
with
is,
us.
It is.
And I think that's one of the things na a lot of our viewers and listeners can greatly learn from is the whole idea that this is why these things don't really come cheap. I think that's a common misconception that most people have. I mean, quite a lot of people have na if it's a digital thing, if it's this and that, na kapag computer lang naman yan, yung mga ganong comments, diba? But after hearing that extensive, which is apparently high level pa rin pala, talagang doon natin nakikita na there's really so much work that's being put into everything na for the end users. Sa mga end users, sa mga nagbabrowse lang dyan ng mga websites, ng mga apps, ng mga programs, parang you guys now kind of have an idea of the work that goes behind it, diba? Which is a very interesting thing to learn about. So thank you for sharing that, Chase, with us. Now, you really gave us a really extensive overview, which is high level papala, yet we feel like we already learned a lot from it. So, and thank you as well for that kind intro to brandish nga naman your digital presence. So, I think that was a kind of like a play of words to brandish your digital presence because me as a
Wink.
digital marketer, again, everyone, great. Ngayon lang nag-introduce. Good evening. So this is Pau Castillo. I am a digital marketer and I am also a sales and branding strategist. So what does that all mean? This is basically how I help my clients to develop their digital presence online. It's not just about, okay, Pau, we want to rank our website. Or we want to create a Facebook, content. 1 month, 2 month, 3 month Facebook content or social media content. So, some people might stop at that, na parang, okay, sige, got it. But on my end, since meron akong sales and branding background as well, one of the key takeaways that I really want to put out there is it's really, really important, especially if you're working with a brand na third party, kumbaga, na it's not your brand. So, you're just you're just doing the work for a different brand, ganyan. It's very important to kind of realize na ask them about what kind of messaging do they really want to put out there. Sabi nga ni Carren kanina, kailangan palaban dahil maraming kalaban. So, with that said, diba, lalo na ngayon na, after the new normal, after everything is just really online, diba, competition is tough. It's really, really tough. And marami talagang mga similar product categories, similar businesses out there, and you guys have kumbaga nag-even out ang playing field for everyone right now. And everyone's just really trying to go online. Even those na probably prior the pandemic, they don't really believe in it. Parang, basta may website kami, basta may Facebook kami, okay na. And if hindi nila na-utilize yun prior the pandemic, it's really a panic mode right now na parang, wait, natatabunan yung results namin. Wait, hindi nag-grow yung Facebook namin. So, paano kami hahabol? So, that's one of the common instances that we actually see, on the back end of, ako personally, I do digital marketing. So, marami kami nakikita mga clients na biglang naghahabol. Bigla nilang na-realize ang importance ng digital marketing and how it can make them be more visible, especially now. But then, I guess, one of the key factors that would really set your brand apart, kasi again, as mentioned earlier, maraming competition, maraming similar businesses. So what's really gonna set your brand apart is if you know your message and you know how to put it out there. Kasi kaming mga digital marketers, all we can do is to just make you guys visible, and that's it. Pero kung paano kayo tatatak sa audience nyo, kung paano kayo maaalala ng audience nyo, it's all about because of the brand message that you're wanting to impart to them. So, say for example, ano ba? What's a good example for this? Let's say a simple common tagline like si Nike na just do it. So you can see that it's just a 3-word just do it, but you see that their ads, everything, their communication line, lahat ng pinapakita nila are, just really pushing forward, doing the best that you can in whatever you do. So tatatak yun. And that's, I guess, that's what's important for me, I think, as a digital marketer, na you won't stop just doing the technicals. Kasi the technicals, you can learn that. It's the technicals are there and you do it. I mean, all of us do it. Kaming mga digital marketers, pare-pareho kami ng techniques. Angat lang yung iba sa iba, because of the certain tools or certain skill sets that you guys have that we have over the other. Pero, again, technical siya. So, those are just basic set of rules, basic steps that we do. So, if we're gonna apply that, I mean, we apply the same processes most of the time, diba? That's why ang magsa-set apart talaga is ano yung message na binabato namin. Kasi we can make you guys, rank your websites, we can make you guys visible, we can run ads, lahat ng 30 posts nyo in a month, pwedeng naka-boost ad yan. But if it's not resonating with your audience, sayang. Sayang yung budget kasi sayang siya because it's hindi ka man magka-ROI, wala ka ring naging engagement. Because at the bare minimum, if you run ads, if you run Google ads or, social media ads, at the bare minimum, sana may makita kang spike in comments, spike in engagement. Kung hindi man, if example, you're a product or you're a service, kung wala mang, hindi man siya nag-translate to ROI, at the very least, ang makikita mo would be a spike in engagement sa mga potential audiences nyo. But if you don't know your messaging and you're just putting it out there, ay basta may 20,000 budget ako for 1 month, basta may post, basta may ganyan, bahala na. Then it's really not gonna work if you don't know the kind of message that you're putting out there. And aligned with that is definitely knowing your target market. Kasi, you have to know who you're talk to first and foremost. Ano ba yung behavior nila? Some people think that it's basta parang feeling nila, I want to target everyone. Okay. Parang paano po, 'di ba? First of all, sa mga digital marketers, good luck naman sa pagta-target, pagse-set aside ng budget for the targeting, 'di ba? That's an aimless target if we do that. Because it's a paano ba? Your product or your brand may not resonate to everyone. So sayang lang if nalalaanan sila ng efforts, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So in that
Parang
way,
ano
just
yun
know. Ano yun, Karen?
Parang may
Sorry.
ipana ka, isa lang yung bala mo. Isa lang yung bala mo. Pero gusto mong ano yung
lahat sila, ganon. Diba? Tapos magtataka ka bakit walang na-shoot yung arrow, diba? So, it's really important to really know who you're talking to, first and foremost. What are their behaviors? So, some people stop at the whole idea na, okay, male and female, 25 to 50 years old, lives in Manila. Period. But, okay, and then, what's their
Very
behavior? How do they do their purchases? How do they browse? How do they, ano bang nauuna? Do they check Facebook first? Do they check the website first? Yung mga ganong small things in like knowing your audience and really knowing how they behave. Kumbaga their psychographics. What do they do in the morning? Like, for some people who are really particular in knowing their audience or knowing the brand, hihimayin yan down to the detail. Now, what do you think? Paggising ba ng market mo, anong ginagawa nila? Do they do yoga first? Do they check their phones? Because it sounds tedious when you think about it. But in the long run, pag nasa-stuck ka na in doing your messaging, your online campaigns, yun ang babalikan mo eh. Babalikan mo, wait, ano nga ba yung gustong sabihin ng brand?
Yeah.
Sino nga ba yung kausap ng brand? Ano nga ba yung behavior ng target market ng brand? And from there, you will grow again into the type of content that you do. Kasi mag-i-ignite yan ulit in your mind na, nga pala, this is what we have to do. These are the people that we have to talk to. So, I guess, ayun. Again, the technicals on the digital marketing end are basic. I mean, it's there. You can Google it. You can research about it. You can apply it easily. Honestly, Google offers a free course ng talagang extensive na din. And pwede mo siyang ma-apply kaagad if you're just talking about technical applications. But then again, if you don't know what you're putting out there, edi sayang lang, di ba? So, for the brands, really, that's the most important thing. Na really establish your brand identity and your target market. And for the digital marketers naman, alamin nyo yun, guys. We cannot stop with just knowing kung anong gusto nila. Gusto namin mag-rank yung website. Gusto namin mag-post kayo sa Facebook. 'Di ba? I mean, that's a given. That's why they tapped the digital marketer in the first place. So, to go beyond that, aralin nyo talaga kung sino yung brands na hawak nyo. I guess, marami din ngayong mga, 'di ba? Mga freelance, nag-freelance din ng social media manager, content manager, ganyan. Really know the brands that you're working with kasi it's gonna be for you as well in the long run. Para hindi rin kayo mahirapan gumawa ng messaging line, ng comms plan nyo, content plan nyo. I guess that's it for the brands, brand identity and target market. And for the digital marketers, know these two very, very well. Kung kaya nyo pang himayin, kung kaya nyo pang i-expound on, then go. Kasi it's really gonna be helpful in the long run. And it's gonna help your brand stand out ngayong sobrang tindi ng competition online.
Indeed.
So, at dahil nga dun sa matinding competition online, 'di ba, Karen? Na-curious talaga ako dun sa kailangan palaban dahil maraming kalaban. So, dahil nga naman nauuso na talaga ang online transactions ngayon, kamustahin naman natin ang world of e-commerce. Professor Carren Deguilla, we'd definitely love to hear more about e-com with you, lalo na't malapit na ang mga 6/6 sale. O, 'di ba? We'd love to hear more from you, Karen, in a bit.
EntrepAcademy online.
So, yes, again, it's me, Carren Deguilla, and I am your entry professor for the e-commerce world. So, ano nga ba yung e-commerce? So, explain ko lang muna yung background ko sa e-commerce, ha? So, I've been working with companies sa Australia, sa Canada, and I have worked with around 5 e-commerce stores already. So, and what is e-commerce? Basically, it's a market. Kapag may grocery ka, meron kang iba-ibang tindahan, di ba? Pero, you put it online. You have a product, it's online. And now, what's the difference? Ang dali lang naman, hindi pa Facebook page lang yun. Hindi ba lang yung e-commerce? Hindi, medyo may iba-ibang aspects ang e-commerce eh. And there are many tiers of e-commerce. Kaya basically, malalim siya habang lumalaki ang iyong company, lumalaki ang mga needs mo. So kung kanina pinapakinggan mo si Chase, medyo hindi mo siya naiintindihan. Kapag lumaki na ang company mo, talagang mapo-force kang maintindihan ang sinasabi ni Chase kanina. So, ang e-commerce kasi, it entails a lot. It's not just about digital marketing. Before you go to digital marketing, alamin mo muna, anong meron ka? Unang-una, you also need to have people. Hindi mo kayang magkaroon ng e-commerce by yourself. Because setting up a website, you need to have someone na talagang alam kung paano. Kasi you're handling transactions. You're also handling products. And when you talk about products na pinapakita mo, you need it to be searchable. And then digital marketing, di ba? You need it to perform well kapag pinindot nila yung website mo, di ba? Eh baka mamaya pinindot nila, ang tagal naman nito. Tapos, ba't ganyan, di ko makita yung picture, di ba? So, andyan ek na yung yung website mo. Paano kung nag-perform naman well na nilalabas ko nga siya sa Facebook, nilalabas ko siya dun sa may Shopee store ako, may Amazon store ako. Meron naman akong mga Shopify or whatsoever. So, di ba, may ginagamit ka naman ng mga apps. Pero, yung content mo naman, yung sinasabi kanina ni Pau, hindi naman siya nagsisell, meron siya, ang daming typo error, paano maintindihan ng customer yan? yung product mo,
boy.
hindi nila maintindihan yung title. Teka lang, parang kapag nagbabrowse ka sa Shopee, di ba? Yung mga ano. It's just papakita nila ito yung picture, tapos yung product, pag na-receive mo, Nick, bakit ganito naman pala siya? Di ba? Tapos meron naman, sabi niya yung title, ganito, pag na-receive mo, ay, iba pala. So, yun nga. Yun, parang sabi ni Rene, scam, ganun. Diba? It's like, you need to be true to yourself din. That is why, one thing you need to do when you're an e-commerce is you need to understand. Yung sinasabi ni Pau, you need to really take time in understanding not just your market, but your company as well. Ano ba yung meron ka? Ano ba yung, sa una, when you're starting, ang makita mo lang is yung service. Yung service mo. Mare, gusto ko magbenta ng bag. Okay, you're selling a bag. But when you're selling a bag out there, ang daming nagbebenta ng bag. Ano naman ang bag mo sa mga ibang bag na yan? Sino ba yung bibili niyan? Ay, naku. Unang-una, ano bang quality ng bag mo? Magkano ba yung bag mo? Sino bang bibili niyan? Tapos, ano ba yung style ng bag mo? Sino bang gagamit niyan? Is it a laptop bag? Is it a bag na pang casual? Diba? At saka, kailangan mo din intindihin yung mga customers mo na kasi when you're talking about e-commerce, you're talking about the process. The whole process wherein they look for your product. They take a look at your product on your website and think, is it right for me? At saka, andun din yung process na when they buy their product, gusto nila, agad nakukuha nila. Because people right now, they're really, really impatient. Kaya kung nagkaroon ka ng shipping na delayed, di ba? Unang-una, kukontakin mo si seller. Nauso yan nung nagkaroon ng pandemic. It has been a headache nung nagkaroon ng problems with the shipping nung pandemic because everything stopped. Kahit actually yung pag-promote mo, you need to really stop promoting because you don't want to have a lot of backlogs sa iyong shipping. Diba? So, you really need to have a proper time din. Timing din talaga, tinitignan yan sa e-commerce. Kapag nag-start ka ng business, makikita mo may mga fluctuations yun sa analytics. Because e-commerce marketing, hindi yan hula-hula. It is not. It is actually applied science. May science yung marketing na yan. Kaya nga, unang-una, tinitignan mo yung psychological, di ba? Yung, when you're talking about psychology, when you're talking about the market. At pangalawa, tinitignan mo yung mga statistics and probability. Doon na tinitignan si Google Analytics, saka iba-iba mo pang apps, di ba? Kung ano ba yung apps na ginagamit mo. And when we're talking about apps, di ba nasabi ko kanina, kapag high level na ang iyong business, super laki na ng business mo, maiintindihan mo na ang mga pinagsasabi ni Chase. Pero kapag ikaw nagsisimula ka pa lang, matututunan mo mararanasan mo na lang na, ay, kailangan ko pala to. Like for example, when you're doing inbound marketing, because you need to reach people, di ba? You need them to know you. So, magko-contact ka ng mga partners. Magko-contact ka ng mga influencers. So, you will need an app that will track kung paano na yung flow ng transaction mo. 'Di ba? Doon sa taong 'yon. Mino-monitor niya. You have a monitoring app. So, magkakaroon ka din ng app na kung okay, nag-work. Dumami yung sales ko. Yes! Ngayon naman, dahil naka-manual ka pa, spreadsheet pa yung gamit mo, nahihirapan ka naman, ay shit, ang hirap kaya nito magmat. Kailangan ko ng accountant kasi yung accountant ang mahal. So, gagamit ka ng mga applications that will do the work for you to do the math. Diba? So, may mga things na ganyan. And there are several kinds of applications na kapag naghahanap ka ang dami, which one is right for me? Meron naman different kind of application na fit for your budget. Diba? Meron mga mid-size, meron mga for beginners, meron mga high level na company na pang mga very, very rich companies na applications na yung mga yon. So, eventually, you will get there. Pero ito yung unang-una na I want e-commerce, gusto sa mga mag-start ng e-commerce na intindihin. It's really all about the process. Yung flow na sinasabi ni Chase kanina to automate. Because eventually, you want things to be automated. You want things to be easier. Kaya, meron tayong mga tinitignan na mga standard operating procedures.
SOPs.
Meron tayong mga tinitignan na flows. Yeah. So, everything you do, kailangan may mga SOP yan. Because eventually, in the future, you want it to be scalable. Kasi, you're not there to become stagnant. You're there because you want to grow your reach. You're there kasi gusto mong dumami yung kinikita mo. You're there because kapag dumami yung kinikita mo, madami kang matutulungan, madami kang ma-employ. And when we're talking about employment naman sa e-commerce, kaya nga sinabi natin, di pa, kailangan naintindihan mo ang iyong market, naintindihan mo ang iyong sarili. When you employ, kailangan ma-bring mo din sa kanila na ma-understand nila yung product mo, yung company mo. Kasi, you want it to be seen as a whole, na hindi magulo. Kaya, when you have a team for an e-commerce, kapag kasi nagkaroon ka ng e-commerce store, meron kang inbound marketing, meron kang mga CSR na sinasabi nila na usually, kaya may mga BPO companies nag-outsource sila ng mga CSR. But when you are still starting, nasa beginner level ka pa, kayo pa lang muna ang nagsi-CSR. You don't really need to get to outsource CSR unless you're like one of the very top tier business companies na.
Right.
You also have to have your devs. Kailangan mo ng mga developers to ensure na yung ang iyong website nagwo-work all the time kasi you really always update your website. Ay naku, it's really a big emergency kapag itong website mo hindi nagwo-work, lalong-lalo na ang iyong checkout. Yung checkout page mo, tay. Lagi mong babantayan yan.
Oh my goodness. True.
Lalo na kapag may promotion ka, o 'di ba? Sabi ni Pau kanina 6-6, 'di ba? O what if nagkaroon ka ng buy one take one? Ang ginawa ng website mo, ang ginawa ng senaryong nangyari is nag-add to cart ka. Uy, buy one take one, pinindot ko. O tapos yun yung unang-una niya nakita. O may pinindot na naman siyang isa. Naging 3. Tapos yung presyo niya. Ganun din, buy one take one. Imbis na 2 yung item na naka-buy one take one, naging 3. O diba? Di lugi ka pag ganun. So you always really have to check. Diba? That's why kapag tinitignan mo yung madami talaga yung scope ng e-commerce when you're looking at that. That's why you need to think first Are you ready to have an e-commerce store? Meron ka bang capacity, budget, right? To run your own e-commerce store. Kasi kunwari, sabi mo, website lang yan. But it's not just any website. Hindi ka makakagawa ng e-commerce store na free yung web domain mo or anything else. Kailangan may capacity ka na mag-hire ng tao, mag-build, and first of all, kailangan ikaw mismo, nung nag-start ng e-commerce business mo, naiintindihan mo lahat ng processes na yan. Kasi, in the end, it all boils back to you. Na kapag may nagkaroon ng problem, ikaw din ang tatanungin ng mga tao mo Ano yung gagawin ko dito? Nagkaroon ng delay sa shipment. Anong gagawin natin? Ano yung message na i-bring down natin sa ating mga clients? Mapopost ka nun sa mga social media sites mo, magpo-post ka sa newsletters mo, kung meron ka ng mga clients na matagal nang nadyan, nag-iintay ng mga promos dun sa iyong newsletter, di ba? Ganon. So, ayun, lahat ng yan, tinitignan mo. It's all about, ang isipin mo sa e-commerce, ang pinaka-importante doon is the customer journey. So yan.
Customer
Di ba we talked about
experience.
from the beginning to the end. From discovery to their shopping experience to the delivery. And kapag na-deliver na, syempre you need to get their feedback. And when we get your feedback, dun sa feedback na yon, dun nyo mas maiintindihan what is your project or company really about. Dun yung mas ma-understand from the people buying from you kung ano talaga yung company. Dun yung makukuha yung main messaging ng inyong company. Kung ano ba talaga yung edge nyo. Kasi meron at meron kayong katulad yan. Pero sa experience ng customers mo, dun mo maiintindihan what is your business. So, ayan. So, I think yun na yung medyo high level na ma-explain ko sa inyo about e-commerce.
Nice. That was good, Karen. That was good. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
I learned a little bit of that out of that, and I haven't really explored it on my end. But I understand how yung IT end would fit into that, especially the mga bigger that needs to be automated. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm sure yung sa digital marketing also really, really ties in really well just sa e-commerce, considering the terms that were used. Right, Pao?
True. And yung the whole, it all boils down to that medyo nag-connect din si Karen dun sa kilalanin mo talaga. Kung yung magiging customer experience, that's what's really gonna set you apart, kumbaga, sa the rest of your competitors. So, guys, mukhang marami-rami na ang ating na-share na, but definitely, it's not a legit pilot episode or hindi pa sabog na pilot episode kung wala tayong special guest. So in just a bit, we will be definitely hearing from her. And ayun, coming up next, you'll be hearing from our guest professor actually. And I'm sure you already know about her. And we're definitely all excited to hear from her. Handa na ba tayo, mga co-professors?
Yes, boom.
Yes, all
right. So she sent in actually this really interesting video, and ayan, let's go see what she has in store for us and the rest of our audience for tonight.
Let's go.
Hello everybody, how are you doing? My name is Grace Locsin. I am the CEO and owner of FBA Business Corporation. I would like to invite you to join me discuss our digital world this coming Friday, June 4, 7 to 9 p.m. in the Entrep Radio Facebook page. We will be discussing how you can leverage digitally today as a person, as a business owner, as a marketer, as an online person. You may be in the online freelancing, marketing, business, whatever it is that you're doing. It's time to be aware and to leverage your digital world today. So I will see you again Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. in the Entrep Radio Facebook page. Bye! God bless you all!
EntrepRadio Online.
Wow. So,
Hello.
ayun na nga. This is Miss Grace Julmar Locsin.
Hi, everybody.
Great
Yes.
day po, Miss Grace.
Great
Hi.
day, Miss Grace. So,
Great day.
brief background about Miss Grace. She's the owner and CEO of FBA, Business Consultancy Corporation. And her business is the world's first one-stop freelancing marketplace providing online courses, online services, and freelancing solutions.
Wow.
Social ang business ni Miss Grace. How are you, Miss Grace?
I'm doing good, Karen. I look forward to being here actually, all through the week. And then it's good to finally being able to be here on stage virtually with, of course, Chase, Pau, and of course, you guys.
Looking
Yes.
forward to what you have to share with us, Miss Grace. Now, what an intro that was. And kanina nga lang we were just talking about how freelancing could benefit, the current lifestyle that we have as people. So, medyo ready na akong mag-notes. Sure, hindi na pala nag-host. Nag-ano na
I
lang
love
pala. Nag-aral na lang pala ako dito. Ready na ako
I actually
mag-notes.
love
Wait
what you
lang.
guys shared. I was here the whole time, and you guys are very impressive. And I could say right from the very beginning that you guys are rock stars when it comes to freelancing. You know your craft, you know your niches, you are there to really deliver value. So congratulations in advance. And if people are just tuning in or watching this live or recorded, you might want to probably go back to the very first one when Chase, Pau, and Karen were talking because you can really learn a lot from them as well. So, good job. Congratulations.
Thank
Thank
you.
Yes,
you.
Thank
thank
you so
Thanks, Miss
much for
Grace.
your
Thank you
kind
so
words,
much,
Miss
Grace.
Grace.
Yes.
It's
And
really true.
dahil
Really, really true. It's coming also from my from my heart. I've been coaching freelancers for 5 years now. I've been training, as a company, we were able to train at least 30,000 freelancers here and abroad. So when it comes to me commending how you were thinking when it comes to your craft, that means a lot. Okay. And like, I've had, a lot of freelancers, and just hearing from you guys, sharing the technicalities of it, what you need to do on the back end, how you need to be preparing everything. It's very, very good. Those are the very attitudes and characters of a great digital marketer, a great freelancer. So we're going to be talking about skills, but I just want to highlight the attitude right there. So good job. Congratulations again.
this really means so much to us, Miss Grace. Thank you.
yes.
Because I think it
Thank you so
shows
much.
naman from our intro earlier that we are also passionate in our own crafts here in the digital world. So maraming salamat po for your kind words. And you did mention nga, Miss Grace, that more than 30,000 na ang na-inspire nyo in their own freelancing journey. So we're curious, no, Miss Grace, how did this start? Paano nag-start yung
Mm-hmm.
maunti-unting ma-inspire ang
Mm-hmm.
30,000 nating audience?
Yeah,
Mm,
sure. When it comes to the Filipino virtual assistants or FVA business consultancy, we did not start as a business. I actually I'm a teacher by profession. I have my master's in education. I am also taking my doctorate in education, but I paused it a little bit because I'm taking my master's in entrepreneurship.
mm,
So as an individual, I'm a teacher by profession, but that's not actually the field where I really grew. You mentioned that earlier, that a lot of freelancers are blossoming in different niches, different fields. That's not
right.
the original field. So that's I'm that very example. So I'm a teacher by profession. I have all of this career, but my experience has been in the administration. I have been managing schools, managing NGOs, religious sector. But my most recent experience before moving to freelancing was managing from ground up a BPO company. So in there, it was more of a freelancing base, virtual assistant base to be more specific. And we were teaching people. I was the operations manager. I was the office manager. So I have to learn everything. So social
Mm,
media, digital marketing. It was very new then. It was 2010.
wow.
So we were all like, maybe in the dark, okay? Like there were still a few social media sites then. We were not
Mm,
knowing where to really go when it comes to the digital marketing. But I was there for 2 years, and I learned a lot when it comes to freelancing. But the mystery and the miracle in our lives happened. Okay, my husband and I got pregnant to two beautiful twins. Of course, they're twins. And then,
Wow.
being a Christian by heart, and then also my lifestyle, I really value
mm,
family. So that's the
lovely.
defining moment that I have to go back. I don't know, you guys are single, married, with kids. I assume you guys are single. Everybody here. Si Chase
Yes, I
single
am.
ba?
Yes.
Yeah.
Single
Okay.
ako but with a kid.
Okay, congratulations. Wow,
Yes.
hustler. Grabe, grabe. All right. So the to make the long story short, we moved home based. So we were like, oh no, like freelancing then is not really accepted and it's not really common. We were like, will this sustain us? Will this be, something that we will do long term? we have kids that we're going to raise, we have a family. But it was actually one of the best decisions we've ever done, because we started from nothing. I don't know if you heard my story, but we did not have anything at all. We started in an internet cafe, and that's to inspire everybody who maybe don't have computers, you don't have internet, you don't have anything right now. We just took what skills we had, and then we went into the internet cafe and started there. Like, you can just
Wow.
imagine, like, play people
I
or
can
kids are playing
imagine.
Dota. Yeah,
Dota
you can just imagine
ages.
the one, like, I'm having this interview, like, it was like fun and all. um but
Oh, good
the
lord.
first month we were already, I was in the BPO sector, and being an office manager, I was paid around 28,000, 30,000. But when I moved home base, our first month when we were in that internet cafe, we were paid, like, for me alone, my husband was paid 42,000, I was paid 22,000, because he started first. So we were like really surprised, like, okay, it's bigger, okay. And that very salary, we bought a computer. It was 16,000 then, and then we had internet at home. And then afterwards, we were just like being so wise with our finances as well. So everything from then up to now, like cars, houses, properties, the AC, electric fan, everything. Like, it was just like really purchased through freelancing. And people
Mhm.
were noticing that we were traveling, before the pandemic, here and there. We were like spending yung sinabi kanina ni Karen na freedom of time, okay? Financial freedom, being able to really
Yes.
pursue your dreams, your desires. That's why I'm very passionate about freelancing, because it gives a lot of freedom, financial freedom, time freedom. You can pursue the very things that you like. It might be, like Entrep Radio. You guys are just amazing voice coaches or voice talents. It can be like my husband is into music. You know, me, I love to write. I love to homeschool. So you can keep the work-life balance. And when people were
Yes.
noticing that, they were like, "Can you teach us just like you taught us in that BPO company?" So I started to craft a curriculum, okay, and that's basically our freelancing course right now, in teaching my friends, supposedly just friends and our relatives and our acquaintances, on how they can start freelancing as well.
Mhm.
And then it was very effective that other students, and most of the students, were starting to also become freelancers and virtual assistants. So more and more people were coming in on our first year. The next year we went into a business mode. Okay, so we started 2016,
Yes.
2017. We became a sole proprietorship. And then this year we became a corporation, and that's because one of the things that I also applied from my business, master's in Asian Institute of Management, and it just grew from there. So that's the story, that's the inspiration. I hope that you guys are encouraged, from nothing into building a corporation that's not just here but also transforming lives here and abroad. So I hope that plays well, encouraging everybody into the digital world.
Wow.
Yes. Sobrang nakakatuwa and very inspirational. Lalong-lalo na sa mga people na they want to really venture, 'di ba? Yun
Mhm.
talagang you need to really first understand your craft. Parang yung ginawa niyo, 'di ba?
Mm-hmm.
You weren't the
Mm-hmm.
boss agad eh. You really need to do it
True.
yourself before you teach
Mm-hmm.
others. Kasi yung
True.
when you teach them, 'di ba? Yung experience mo, kumbaga they are hacking your experience, yung mga natutunan mo. You're giving them
Mm-hmm.
the shortcut to let
True.
them know how to do it
Mm-hmm.
easily, 'di ba?
That's the
Sobrang
beauty of
nakakatuwa.
training and coaching. That's the beauty of, like, when the academy is more on the mentorship, strategy.
Mm-mm.
And it's good na nakikita ko po yung passion eh when it comes to what you're doing, because you're not doing it na yung iba nagpe-presyo sila. Kasi ito yung investment ko nung nag-aral ako niyan. Ganito yung mga ginastos ko, nag-training ako ng mga
Mm-hmm.
ganyan. So, pebenta ko siya ng mahal. But because we know naman our clients, yung mga target natin dito sa ang tawag dito sa inyong job as a mentor, they're Filipinos, and Filipinos, they don't really have don't really have that
True.
capacity yet. And then sa
Mm-hmm.
price
Mm-hmm.
point pa lang ng ng product nyo, nakakatuwa na yung na nakita mo yung passion na it's very affordable for people who really are willing to invest. Kasi kahit paano, you don't just give it to them for free eh. Kasi doon mo makikita yung dedication. Kung talagang
Yes,
gusto
very
nila,
true.
they will really put in money for that.
Very true. Very well said.
And Miss Grace, actually, to add to that, no, I was reminded of this question that I had because a few weeks ago I was actually blessed to be a part of DZRH. So that was the time that they also thank you. That was also the time that they actually asked me to discuss then about what I do for a living. So digital marketing then yung naging topic ko nun. So si DJ, yung DJ nung time na yon, she asked me this question na I think it's very relevant to what you shared. Sabi niya, Miss Pau, wala na bang pag-asa yung mga walang experience ngayon? Kasi I was discussing about nga the whole competition stuff. You know, everyone wants to venture into being a freelancer, being a digital marketer. Kasi yun talaga yung medyo patok na work talaga ngayon kasi everyone's going digital. So she asked this question na, Miss Pa, wala bang pag-asa yung mga walang experience and gusto pala mag-venture now? And guys, to those who are tuning in right now, narinig naman natin ang kwento ni Miss Grace. Na all you have to do is just really to have that drive to start. And talagang, even with yun nga,
in a nearby internet cafe.
Yun nga na make use of what you have, diba? And
iba na
really
today wala nang internet cafe, pero naglalabasan na yung mga networks na diba? Na malalakas na yung data ng mga networks. So, good pala.
And in connection with what you mentioned, Pao, when it comes to, do we have the edge, in order to really compete? Probably I could go ahead and mention you can. Of course, it was also mentioned earlier that the playing field has changed. It's not anymore visits to a physical store. It's not anymore like who has the biggest billboard, who has this and that. It's really online. That's why this is very relevant, and I would encourage everybody watching to keep, watching this Entrep series on digital, because you can really learn a lot, not just from me, not just from the people who are, who talked earlier, but the next few resources. You really can learn from these resources as well. And maybe I could mention, 3 things when it comes to how they can start their digital marketing business or freelancing. And number 1, I could probably go for build an authority. Okay, just like Pao mentioned earlier, it's not anymore something that you will, build something and then everybody will come in. You have to compete. You have to be sure that they will trust you, because it's trust-based marketing. So you have to build your authority in that niche, in that expertise. Like, for example, if they're going to look at Carren, okay, they're going to mention, okay, she's a voice artist. She's also into e-commerce, okay? If they're going to look at me, all they see all around me is freelancing. So that's an authority right there. So you can do this by, of course, building your online presence, okay? Communicate online. What is it that you're doing? Another one, you can go for like online teaching, online courses. You can go for like free training, as long as there are certifications. So you can also learn and be certified, because that will build your authority. And then you can go for like social proofs, okay, like maybe a little bit, yes, of like what you're doing, what you're sharing. Like maybe Chase can mention like, this is what we're doing right now in helping our clients. And that will empower, the authority figure, when it comes to Chase being that niche, being under that expertise. So you can go and really build that online. And probably I could go ahead and mention that number 1 biggest factor when it comes to building your authority is consistency. A lot of freelancers out there, a lot of digital marketers, a lot of business owners would try something and they're not consistent, okay? Because there's like that loop. And then, when you feel like it's not working, or like nobody's really watching, nobody's really liking, you stop, because you're very much dependent on the people around you. You need to be driven by your heart, driven by your passion. So you need to be consistent with what is this that you're providing as your service. Number 2 is you need to identify your USP or unique selling proposition. So this is really a business form, a business term. However, you have to make sure that you identify what is your niche, what is your like for example, you may be in web design, you may be in data entry, you may be in executive assistance. You need to also separate yourself from everybody's doing it. Okay, when we're reading, there are white pages, so you have to identify when that's already saturated, how can you make your services unique? How can you make your services a little bit different? What can you offer, to the rest of the freelancing world, to the rest of your customers, to the rest of your target market, when it comes to making you the go-to person when they're thinking about your expertise or your very niche, okay, your very services. So think on your USP or unique, value proposition or selling proposition. So what makes Pau unique? What makes Chase unique? Okay, so maybe it's your low price, maybe it's your on-demand services, maybe it's like the premium offer, maybe you just really provide quality service. What are the things that will make you unique? So you identify those. And the third one is, of course, don't be just only value driven, but also go ahead and be solution driven. So if you have value, you're giving them value. Like I'm giving you low price at a very competitive edge, at a very premium service. But when it comes to that one as well, you also need to make it easy for them. Okay, so that's why social media and emails and email marketing will make it effective for you. This is why when you're going to provide an online presence, maybe you're in different freelancing marketplaces, that will make it easier for you. So make it, make sure that you're providing the clients pain points a solution. Because of course, if you're like all of this authority, all of this unique product proposition or value proposition, but towards the end you're not doing your job, it's not really complementing the client's needs, you're still be out of business. So you have to identify what is it that you're providing out there. Okay, so what is it that you're providing as a solution out there? So for example, if I am like into freelancing business, I'm not just providing online courses. Okay, I'm providing people the opportunity to find jobs. So there's a two different perspective there. So you have to identify, if I'm in the e-commerce business, okay, am I just like selling online, or I'm selling products fast, okay, to make sure that they get what their orders because they really need it or they really want it. So you have to be solution focused as well, and not just giving value to them. So those are just three that you may be you need to probably start thinking when it comes to how can you be competitive and how you can really create an edge when it comes to your freelancing or marketing in the digital world.
Wow. Grabe yung yung nasabi ni Miss Grace, simula pa lang yan, pero napakamalaman. Nakakatuwa at I think excited eh. Excited lahat na mas dig deeper pa, 'di ba? Dito sa business ni Miss Grace. Tama 'di ba, Chase?
Yes, exactly. So regarding your business po, if you could, what are the top 3 services that are commonly availed by your clients? Say,
that's a really good question.
Yes,
Because that will guide people when they want to go and venture in the freelancing world or in the digital world. When it comes to our courses, the top 3, okay, the people taking training are number 1, social media. Okay, a second, because social media, you can everywhere. Facebook is social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube. Okay, everybody's there, so you need to really leverage your social media presence. Another one is of SEO or search engine optimization, because just like I think it was mentioned by Pau earlier, if you have a website but nobody's going there, it's not really creating value or creating solution for your customers. It's not going to really get a lot of customers. So you have to really boost that as well, and that's SEO. And the third one is e-commerce. So congratulations, Karen, you're in the top three. When it comes to services, however, the people getting our virtual assistants for their companies, these are social media, podcast, and website management. So yeah, those are the services that people are generating from our virtual assistants, because we provide an end-to-end solution to our students as well.
Uh, all right, thank you, Miss Grace. Wow, I think Pau and Karen were specially mentioned, at least in their fields. I feel especially
Sorry, Chase,
excluded,
sorry,
but that's
Chase.
perfectly fine. Back-end po talaga eh. Ganun talaga kami. We just stay in the background and do everything here.
Mm-mm.
But
But
thank you
Pero
for that
very
insight.
important
the
ang
website
back-end.
management. Oo,
Yes,
oo.
yes. We do support the you guys up front. So we're just happy na nakikita namin kayo dyan out front and doing whatever the heck you do in the best way you know how.
Pagdating kasi sa back-end, Chase, hindi siya pwede na short-term course lang eh. Medyo
Yeah.
very,
Indeed.
very techy kasi si back-end.
It is.
Mm-mm.
Understandable naman, understandable.
Pero
Very-
pero ang IT field is isa sa pinaka-competitive actually.
Yes.
Na
It's very
at saka
true.
magandang puntahan na direction na when you're still starting out and you have the skills na maganda talagang mag-freelance sa IT. Mas sila yung mga talagang top earners actually.
Yes.
Na in the
actually.
world of freelancing.
Yes, that's very
Yeah.
correct. If you want to go and start and then high payment na agad, go for the website management, web development. And I agree with you, Karen. It takes longer, but it's actually worth it, right, Chase? Kasi when you're there,
Yes.
it's gonna be pretty.
It most definitely is. So in target market rather that you guys have I'm sorry, what about target markets?
Yes.
What about your sa target market, Miss Grace? Kasi sometimes, di ba, as a brand, you kind of have an intended market minsan. But at the same time, while you course through your business, di ba, hindi maiiwasan you're discovering na iba pala din yung nata-target mo. You're unconsciously going for this, but as you do your processes, may nade-discover kang bagong markets coming along. So could you tell us more about how it was naman for your brand?
Sure, that's very true, Pau, and that's why I mentioned you guys are rockstar, because you're really on top of your task. That's why you're able to mention that, because you have to be really data driven. So when it comes to your target market, it's not a defined one based on 25 to 30 years old women, because they're usually the ones that are at home and getting the work from home. No, it's not. When we started, it was like that, because probably those were the people who liked the page, because they're usually my friends. But towards the end, especially this pandemic, it changed to men, and then 18 to 24 years old. And then, yes,
Interesting shift.
yeah, very, very, very interesting for us. But the women around that age bracket as well is just a little bit below. So probably that men 18 to 24 years old is maybe around 60%, and then 40% are women. So it's not that much. And we were trying to figure this out, because we were like, why did this happen? Okay, why where this was a boost when it comes to men, and maybe because there were a lot of like high school graduates and college students who may be thinking their future and how they can prepare when it comes to their families, when it comes to building families, being married, and because the schools were a little bit limited this year. So that's why probably the whole target market shifted into that category. Before, there were a lot of women 25 to 35 years old. We rarely get people from the 18 to 24 years old, but under this pandemic, it actually shifted down, to 60. No, yeah, they were also very young. We even have students as early as 14 and 15 years old. So maybe these are high school students. Hi to everybody who's watching, and you're still in school. Congratulations for thinking ahead when it comes to the future of work. So yes, when it comes to target market also, of course, when it comes to our services, kasi after our students will finish the course, we put them into the field, okay, where they can serve clients. And the clients who are availing the virtual assistant services are, of course, business owners, especially the small business owners. So if you're a freelancer watching this one, you might target real estate, brokers, real estate agents, the small and medium enterprises. They're changing, their presence from offline to online, so they need your help. And you take that opportunity to really blossom in the digital field by helping this target market.
Interesting shift din yon, Miss Grace. And how you're also, it's very much appreciated na you take the time to actually learn why you sit down and just really try to figure out, teka, but why is this shift? Kasi siguro yung mga bagong graduates, yung mga those who
Mhm.
are starting their new careers, I think it's a common ngayon na medyo younger than yung mga
Mhm.
nagiging interested to start in this freelancing
Mhm.
career, 'di ba? Because I think, 'di ba, who wouldn't be excited to parang fresh out of school, feeling nila they already own their time. So
Mhm.
definitely kita din sa ating data. I think it's also very much even on Facebook groups, like for example yung mga for freelancing groups, you would
Mhm.
see people asking na parang are there companies looking for
Who would this
interns, yung
need?
mga ganon, because they wanna
Mhm.
grow already in their crafts as early as
Mhm.
now. And
Mhm.
ano dun, Miss Grace, no? Speaking of, nakita nga natin yung shift in because of what happened, the pandemic happened, we saw the shift in target market and in target markets, and of course how we do our own endeavors then in our own fields. How would
Mhm.
you, Miss Grace, what can you say about the importance, or how important is digital marketing now, especially in this current times na, everything is digital and startups, yun, I guess that's also one thing that the pandemic brought, ang daming
Mhm.
bagong startups, like
True.
people
Very
are
true.
really doing their
Mhm.
own businesses
Mhm.
already. So
Mhm.
what is the importance for you? How do you think is digital marketing so important right now, especially in this current times?
I would probably answer that with a phrase, or probably a sentence that go digital or possibly die. As a business, that's how important it is. In the next few years, they're even thinking that AI is going to replace people, replace businesses, replace the menial tasks like
That's
copywriting. And
right. Mhm.
yeah, you have to go and empower yourself digitally right now, and don't be scared, because you just put yourself in that river and you will know when you get there. Okay, it's just like TikTok. You go there and like, what's this, how can I do this? But you stay longer, you would know how it's being done. You would know analytics. You would not be scared by SEO anymore. You would not be scared by the back end web development that Chase is doing anymore. Once you get started, getting started is very important. So in order for you to really go ahead and um, position yourself with current times, with the trends, go digital today. Okay. Unfortunately, when the pandemic happened, I'm based in Mindanao, and I saw this one. It was featured in one of the papers here that more than 10,000, okay, more than 10,000 businesses closed because of the pandemic. So, and these are probably not the ones adapting into the digital world. Okay, probably others are still expecting that it's going back. Okay, the ones with a lot of savings are probably like, oh, it's okay, we can go right now. But even a lot of research like INC.com, Bloomberg.com, they're already finding out that 48% don't want to go back. Of the people, who are workers, they don't want to go back anymore into because it's probably scary. It's probably, like, you have to have that vaccine and everything. So you may need to really venture out, and then maybe if everything would go back, there will be the hybrid situation where people will have the opportunity to go online or to go offline or do both. Okay, probably there are days where they will be working online, and there are days when they're working offline. So even with that hybrid situation, it still means digital. there will be developments of people going to Mars, people, like establishing AIs, automations. The algorithms in different social media sites right now are becoming more human-like. Okay, so this tells us that it's really going to be digital in the next few years. So we need to prepare. We need to empower ourselves. We need to equip ourselves with digital tools, with digital training, digital technology. I'm happy that EntrepAcademy is doing this one, really empowering your customers when it comes to how they can also venture out into the digital world. Because again, we're very thankful and we're very grateful that we started 10 years ago, and it wasn't that smooth ride. For the ones who are still starting, it's okay. You go up, you go down, as long as you're already in the river, you're already in the digital world, than not doing anything at all. And 5 years from now, everything's is digital and you weren't able to learn the idioms, learn the terminologies. You're like catching up. You don't know how to do that. And it's not even a matter of age, a matter of education, a matter of economics, socioeconomic status. Because I've had students who are high school graduates, who they have been mothers for a few years, maybe 5 years, maybe even high school or college degree holders. They were able to do it. So yeah, go digital, or there's really a possibility that you can't cope up in the next few years. That's how important it is to answer the
Totoo
question.
yan. Totoo yan, no, yung going digital. And when we talk about digital, everything is so fast-paced. Yung technology,
True.
like what Chase is doing right now, di ba? What
Yeah.
the people back end are doing, they're doing it to make it all easier for us. They're getting more and more innovations na talagang, because everything is all for the end users. Pero tayo, na gumagabay sa mga end users, we also have the responsibility to really keep on learning. Because I imagine si Miss Grace, she started 10 years ago. The landscape of Facebook and social media is so very, very far from how it is right
From
now.
where we are right now.
That is why, as kahit saan namang trabaho yan, you really need to focus dun sa craft mo into improving it all the time, because it changes. Even sa market, kapag, kumari ikaw, nagbebenta ka ng bags, di ba? Ulit, sa bags ulit tayo. Hindi naman lagi, naiisa lang ang style na binibenta mo. You always
Very
have to
true.
you always have to go back to the data. Kung akala mo ang pagbebenta, pera lang ang iniisip mong data dyan, hindi. You really need to understand yung market eh. You really need to see kung ano na, kasi doon mo makikita na dapat talaga masipag ka pa rin tumitingin ng data, because you always have to revamp. Kaya sa sinasabi kanina ni Chase na meron silang agile na tinatawag, because when you go agile, you listen eh. Sorry. Yun yung talagang sinasabi na agile. You listen not just within you. You listen to your client. You listen to what the people are experiencing.
Yes, that's true.
Kaya maganda din yung agile eh. Agile is not actually used not just sa IT field. It's used for teams, for teamwork eh. Because kapag when you go agile, hindi ka naghihintay because there's always something you do at the same time.
Always.
So, yeah. How about you, Chase and Pau? Ano ba yung key takeaways nyo sa ating lesson today with Miss Grace?
Ako, siguro yung key takeaway ko talaga, yung that really made an impact on me, no, yung go digital or talaga it's an instant death for your businesses. Because I've also handled clients or also part of the client side before na talagang nagpanic sila nung nag-pandemic na parang, teka lang, okay, wait lang, wala tayong Facebook. May Facebook tayo pero it's not alive. Last post natin 2016 pa. Yung mga ganong instances,
Wow.
'di ba? Parang in just a year, it was just been a year and a couple of months, but you saw the shift already in the digital landscape. And at the same time, you already saw the change in behavior din ng mga market, not only the market, but also on client and business side as well. Na again, as mentioned, yung mga they don't really particularly pay attention to their digitals before. Ngayon, panic talaga sila. Or for example, those who have, especially mga multi-million companies who really put, budget sa mga billboards, sa mga TVCs,
Before.
radio,
Mhm.
ngayon lahat Google Ads, ad spend
True.
lahat, social media spend lahat. Yung tipong, this is, I guess, for those who are tuned in right now, 'di ba? Yung mga minsan napapansin natin sa YouTube, hindi mo na pwedeng skip yung ad. Kasi may mga
Yeah.
budget na ang mga clients natin ngayon to make an
Mhm.
unskippable ad. And obviously,
Mhm.
dito mo makikita talaga na yung marketing budget nila nag-shift from 20-30% lang na digital before, ngayon up to 90. Talagang
True.
linalaan nila yung budget nila. So again, as Miss Grace said, go digital or parang face a slow and painful death for your
Mhm.
business. That's
And we don't
my
want
key
that to
takeaway.
happen.
Yes,
We don't
opo,
want that to happen.
definitely.
Oh, possible naman kasi, you can actually go digital. It's not the end of the world. And just like what you mentioned also, Pau, you can even venture into new businesses. Daming startups. Before I have a friend who before we're selling into multi-level selling of soap or beauty products, and then during the pandemic, he shifted into delivery services. So it's really just a matter of shifting your mind on what works today and then go and venture on that. It's really just really having the keen focus on like, okay, where can I go? And usually it's really the use of digital. If even if you're in the medical field, LGUs, okay, even with the local government units right now, they're going, where are they sending information? Where are they sending, updates and all? It's all digital. It's all social media. It's all online. So you can really leverage more when you are into the digital world.
Yes.
Yes. What about you, Chase? Down your line of service. Ano yung key takeaway mo dito sa ating EntrepRofessor and our lesson today?
Well, from what Miss Grace mentioned, thanks Karen, by the way. So what Miss Grace mentioned, napaisip lang talaga ako in regards to the back-end solutions that we implement here, actually sa company para namin here in IBM. Just the thinking about, and automations in itself is apparently really, really booming for those bigger
True.
enterprises and companies.
True.
Yes. So very important that, and also rather artificial intelligence. That
Yes.
one thing is very, I guess, it integrates with automation. That kind of caught my attention because AI helps out with not just with automation but also with predictive analysis in that regard. Kind of knowing what kind of trends would work at this point in time, or when a certain event, or like this time of year, for example, summer. Like I'm sure it has a certain effect on certain sales or markets. So in that regard, the AI is starting to learn certain trends in how us
Yes.
human beings, it's the psychology of how we kind of make our purchases, how we evolve in this digital world. Tapos, and then I heard another word, which is the scalability, which leads me to cloud, because that's for a topic for another time, I'm sure, because cloud is huge. So what cloud essentially is, it covers yung ability to be scalable, because it gives you that capacity to, kumbaga, meron siyang, as you need the amount of the services that you provide would require a certain amount of computer power, or computing power. Yeah. So with
True.
cloud, that gives you the capability to avail of those services whenever you need them, and you just pay for what you need, as well as the technologies, the services, even the people. Minsan, it's out there ready to be used by those who know where to look. So just me being a developer and taking these trainings just really gives me a lot of insight on what I can also contribute, along with my RPA experience, along with the cloud trainings that we're having actually at the moment. It really helps kind of mix everything together and identify the solutions and see the results of the solutions that we create. It's a back end. So it's really, really fascinating to see. And I love that. Yeah. Being a back end developer.
Very well said, Chase.
Thank you.
There was one thing that you mentioned, that AI is taking over, and it's very true. And few weeks ago, I attended this advertising event, and one of the biggest advertisers in the world mentioned that
Yes.
it's really coming. It's going to replace mediocre work. Okay, probably
It's a
the
scary
ones
thought,
that.
yes.
Yes. But there was hope there, he mentioned that it's an opportunity for us to really make a difference every day, in whatever it is that we're doing. So that's really good. We
Yes,
can
yes,
make a difference in businesses, by doing this
definitely.
one, teaching people, we're making a difference. And when we
Mm-mm.
really focus in making a difference in a more remarkable way, AI
Yes.
will not be able to defeat us because it's remarkable.
Yes.
Okay, it
Mm-mm.
cannot read perfection. It cannot read a perfect
Mm-mm.
human behavior. It cannot read the heart. It can read psychology. It can read. This is why it's a challenge for all in the digital world today, for all the freelancers today. I even share this in our groups that we need to find ways right now how we can be remarkable. That you're so
Mm-mm.
remarkable, you're so exceptional in what you do that even AIs can't read you.
Can't
Even
replicate.
AIs can't
Mm-mm.
predict, what is she going to
Yes.
do this time, okay? And it only you can only do that. Yes, you can only do
Uh,
that when you're very
Only
passionate
you.
about your work. Okay, you
Yes.
have
Mm-mm.
this goal. Okay, and I know we're talking about digital marketing and digital world, but I think
Mm.
what's really lacking and what's really pinpointed when it comes to the success of digital marketing efforts is the heart behind the campaigns, the heart behind the
Mm-mm.
brand, the heart behind what is it that we're doing and why are we doing what we're doing. If you have that
Yes.
why, if you have that heart, nobody can copy you. You will not be frustrated. You will not be
Mm.
discouraged right away. The AIs, no matter how fast they're like moving from
Evolving.
everywhere, they're
Mm-mm.
reading, evolving, very true, Chase. If you're
Mm-mm.
remarkable, you're very passionate with what you do, they can really, as much as possible, copy that because
Yes.
it's your heart behind your brand, your craft, and whatever
True.
it is that you're doing. You're providing services in the digital world, so have the heart, have the courage, have the passion. Okay, don't be, that's why I mentioned earlier, be that white space. Don't be a copycat. Don't be like doing
Mm.
like what everybody's doing. Be
Yes.
Mm-mm.
exemptional in your services, be remarkable in the brand that you are handling. Okay, a lot of people are doing are probably voice artists. You are that voice artist that's going to just
Definitely.
be beckoning with like exemptional abilities. A lot of people are
Mm.
freelancers. You are that one freelancer who's just really providing value and solution. A lot of people are providing online courses. We're gonna be here to have that mindset in our hearts, in our minds, to really impact people and not just provide courses. We want to be
Yes.
providing end-to-end services. So good that you mentioned that, Chase, because it's scary, to be
It is.
honest. Like, and
Mm-mm.
like there are machines all over. Like it's in the top of our, like here in our phones, we can
The,
just
mm-mm.
uh
The Internet of Things.
pinpoint.
Yes.
Yes,
Mm-mm.
Internet of Things. Okay, and then they're reading, they're lahat lahat. But again, if you're remarkable with what you do, you're very much you're giving the best that you're doing in whatever world or sphere of influence that you have, because you have
Mm.
that heart. Nobody can copy that. Okay, it is your
Indeed.
very voice. Nobody can
Indeed, Miss
copy that.
Grace. Definitely.
And it
Is that?
also kind of reminds me din pala, dun sa sinasabi na when we're entrepreneurs, we're actually risk takers. It means
Mm.
you're not
Mm-hmm.
afraid to really try something new. Like,
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
especially sa world ng e-commerce, kasi it's okay, we can copy others. We look for other strategies to inspire us.
Mm-hmm.
Pero
Mm-hmm.
hindi definitely ika-copy mo kung ano yung ano mang campaign na ginagawa
Mm-hmm.
nila na promotion campaign. Because
Mm-hmm.
definitely, ako as an e-commerce, yung promotion, tuwang-tuwa ako talagang gumagawa ng mga ganun. Kasi doon mo
Mm.
nakikita yung creativity mo as a
Mm-hmm.
marketer. When you do something that is out of the box, and when nakita mo na, ay, nagwo-work, di ba? Doon mo
Ang
talaga
sarap.
makikita yung saya ng marketing. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, nakakatuwa. So
It is. It is.
ayun. Yes, and speaking of yung promoting nga po, no, Miss Grace. So go ahead po and plug your business to our audience.
Yeah, sure. We are the Filipino virtual assistants. You can check us out in different social media sites, FBA Corporation or Filipino Virtual Assistants. This is our premium course right here. We teach people how they can start digital marketing or virtual assistants through this virtual assistants or freelancing virtual assistants course. We offer it regularly at 5,000, but if you are going to avail the early bird, it will be 4,000 only. And there are 24 lessons in this, and we also provide online courses, 30 other online courses. And in the same manner, we don't treat you as a student only, but we treat you as a family. We're there to really provide value. So it's going to be portfolio based. We're going to be providing you after course, assistance, in-house, referrals and hiring, and personalized coaching and training as well. So we look forward to seeing you in one of our courses.
Thank you, Ms.
Wow,
Grace.
that's great. Nakakatuwa, no? Kung ako pwede lang ako sumali, no? Magko-comment din ako. Magko-comment talaga ako. Because
Ayun nga
very
eh. And
rare na magkakaroon ka ng free.
that is true. And that course that we just showed, yun nga, ang mapapanalunan ng ating lucky winner for tonight's question. So far, we don't have answers yet on our comment section. So guys, go na tayo dyan. But definitely, after the show, we will be posting it as well. Kasi sa Friday pa naman, ang ating announcement of winners. So definitely, we will be posting this same question on our Facebook page sa mga gustong humabol. Para din, di ba, mas marami ding, if ever man hindi nyo ma-share yung live stream, definitely ma-share yung recorded version and matuto pa rin ang
Wow.
ating mga future listeners sa episode na ito. So just to give a quick flash of our question for the day. So how will freelancing benefit your lifestyle? So simply share this episode, like EntrepRadio on Facebook, and like FBA Consultancy on Facebook, and comment down your answers below. So I hope na makagather pa tayo ng comments in the last few minutes of our show. But if not, we will be doing a separate post for this on the Facebook page para doon na lang din kami mag-base ng ating comments. So make sure that when you share this episode, guys, make your post on public para makita namin if you really did share this episode, and we can also verify on your end. Sayang yan, guys. It's a free course. Definitely, just by sharing and commenting, diba, you have the chance to learn how to finally own your time when you do your businesses.
Yes. So, ayan, may chance pa ang mga team replay, no? Kapag medyo hindi pa dumami-dami ang ating mga
Galing
comments.
naman.
So, super nakakatuwa po ang ating very, very meaningful, very, very malaman na show today. So, sa mga tao sa ating audience, please do comment. Not just the answers, but comment din nyo kung ano yung na-experience nyo, natutunan nyo, at mag-comment kayo ng mga, kung meron pa kayong gustong itanong na pwede namin sagutin outside the show.
Actually, you're seeing the comment section nga right now. Meron na tayong mga answers na pumapasok for that question. And some are just really giving their full story, diba? Sa paano nga naman magbe-benefit ng freelancing sa kanilang mga lifestyle. So definitely we'll be checking these out. Thank you so much for sharing them here. We'd love to hear more about your stories and insights. And if ever nga, as Karen said, kung meron pa tayong mga follow-up questions, definitely share them with us so that we can get to them para sa mga team replay, diba? Sabi nga ni Karen. And we can address them also here on the EntrepRadio Facebook page.
Yes.
That would be good for everybody. Kasi others are probably, TGIF, okay? So they might be watching tomorrow or Sunday. So congratulations in advance to whoever the winner is. So I'm gonna be seeing you because I will be your coach.
Yes, ayan o, si Miss Grace. Kitang-kita nyo na, kitang-kita nyo na yung prowess ni Miss Grace on camera. So, what more pa kaya kapag you're already there learning the basics and the practicalities on how to execute freelancing. So, all right. So, I think that's it. Everybody, anything else you want to add?
Ako, I'm good. Ang dami kong natutunan from Miss Grace, and na-inspire ako lalo to actually finally start that decision to probably start owning your time na din and really thriving in this world, in this digital world, according to our show's title.
Ako naman, I just want to finish my trainings. There's a whole lot more stuff to worry about back there.
Yes.
A whole lot of trainings. Gosh dang. And thank you, Miss
Alright.
Grace, for showing me the results of what we are doing back here.
No problem. No
Along with
problem.
Pau and Karen. Thank you guys so much.
And thank you so much, Miss Grace, for spending your Friday night with us. Yun nga, iba mang
No
nagti-TGIF, but you're here with us and sharing your insights so heartfully na talagang ramdam na ramdam namin, Miss Grace, yung puso mo in what you do. And thank you for translating it to us as well. Na-inspire kami, and as you can see naman sa ating comment section na may mga nagko-comment talaga ng quite lengthy stories. So talagang you just see how many people Miss Grace has already touched. And we're looking forward to hearing more of this, Miss Grace, na for you to touch the lives of more people then along the way.
Yes.
Thank you also, Pau. Thank you, Entrep Radio, to Miss Faith and Chase, Pau, and Karen for being with me. It's an honor to be one of the best, freelancers and digital marketers and voice artists, in the country. It's something that I can always be proud of. Like, wow, may mga Filipinos na ang galing. Okay, so let's go and raise the banner of digital workers in the world. Kasi the Filipinos are actually very good. So thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
We hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday night, Miss Grace. Once again, thank you for spending it with us here on Digital World.
Yes. Thank you, Miss Grace.
You're welcome.
We'll see you again soon, Miss Grace.
Yeah.
And aabangan
Until the next
namin
one.
ang mga updates nyo on your Facebook page. Thank you
Yeah,
so
sure.
much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right, guys. Grabe, what a pilot episode. I cannot believe na parang the whole 2 hours flew by that quickly, and ang dami nating na-discuss, ang dami nating na-tackle in just 2 hours. So many learnings, not only for us 3 on the stream right now, but also to all of our viewers tonight. And yung mga team replay, guys, ang ano ko lang is maganda na kayo ng notebook nyo at marami-raming note-taking ang magaganap through this episode.
Definitely.
Yes. And very diverse talaga, ang ating napag-aralan. Because, typically, akala natin digital is social media. Okay, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. But it's not. And for more episodes, hindi lang sa digital world, everything basta business, they all tie together. Everything. Like, kumare yung
That's
ginagawa
true.
ni
Definitely.
Chase, ginagawa ni Pau, ginagawa ko. And also, yung mga different businesses, they all tie together. And they all boil down to your heart, di ba? Kung bakit mo
Yeah,
ginagawa ang business.
definitely. Reminds me of that one thing na sinabi ni Sir Choi sa atin dati na kahit na gaano mang kagaling yung AI out there, they cannot replicate the voice of a human being. The heart.
Tayo na nga lang
Emotion.
ang human, 'di ba? Sa world of
Yes.
technology ngayon. So guys, what an episode it has been. At guys, dyan na po nagtatapos ang ating lessons for the day. Isang katerbang lessons nga naman siya for the day, and ang dami ko natutunan, and I'm sure you guys as well and the rest of our viewers about a general overview of the digital field at kung paano nga naman ito makakatulong sa inyong pagnenegosyo, especially in the new normal. Nasabi nga ni Miss Grace, go digital or go die, o diba? We hope we were able to bring you clarity and more ideas sa pagsisimula at pagpapalaki ng inyong business.
Definitely. Also, guys, we also do consultation services, so feel free to reach out to us on our Facebook page so we can help you lead your business to success.
Yes. At samahan niyo muli kami next week sa aming agriculture course with Miss Anna and Miss Ella sa susunod na Biyernes. Lagi niyong tatandaan, kaya mo maging boss dito.
Thank you. Alright, so isa na namang gabi. Gabing puno ng kaalaman ang inyong natunghayan dito sa EntrepAcademy. Special thanks to our sponsor for tonight, FVA Consultancy. Ang programang ito ay handog sa inyo ng Entrep Media Network, Creative Sound Studios, Voice from Home, Creative Voices Production, the Certified Voice Artist Program, at ng nag-iisang The Voice Master of the Philippines, Mr. Pocholo de Leon Gonzalez. Maraming salamat at magandang gabi sa inyong lahat.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoy
Good
the rest
night.
of your Friday. Thank you for joining us on this pilot episodes of Digital World. Bye,
Until the
guys.
next time,
Till the next
guys.
one.
Stay tuned.